Many of you want to go from this to this overnight. You want to lose weight, maybe 10 kilograms, maybe 20 kilograms, 30, 40, maybe 50 kilograms. And then you see someone else's body transformation pictures, and that drives your motivation even more, which is phenomenal. That's great. Especially if you are drawing inspiration from pictures like these. But then after 2 weeks, 3 weeks, after you've been on your own health and fat loss expedition, when it becomes difficult, when you lose that motivation, when you're not seeing progress on that number on the scale, or even a shift in body composition, that's where you start putting in less and less effort. And like I said, many people want this, but there are also many people that are not willing to make the sacrifices that I did, to work as hard as I did, and to commit as long as I did. And in this video, I'm going to explain 10 things, the difficult things that led to my success that not many people are willing to do. Before we get into those 10 things, just a gentle reminder that my private coaching community is opening its doors on the 3rd of March for enrollment. If you want me in your corner, backing you every single step of the way through those difficult things, I'll leave a link in the description where you can register your interest. The 10 things that I'm about to chat about, the difficult things that I did to help me lose 40 kilograms, or that actually led to me losing 40 kilograms, that set me apart from many people who have tried and not succeeded yet, might come across as a little bit of tough love, but oftentimes you need to hear this. You see, social media portrays weight loss as being easy. Why? Because every influencer out there just wants engagement so that they can increase their followers. So when they tell you something that you want to hear, like it being easy and you can eat what you want when you want, they are telling you what you want to hear, just to grow their own social media following through the engagement you give them. But I would really love to know what percentage of these health influencers online have actually done the hard graft to lose a substantial amount of weight, like 40 kilograms, and maintain that weight for a long period of time. So are they speaking from experience? We wouldn't know. Myself, on the other hand, I've experienced it all because I have done the hard graft to lose the 40 kilograms. Let's run through the 10 things that helped me be successful within my weight loss. And these are in no specific order. And honestly, there's probably a lot more than these 10 things, but these are the things that stood out for me. Number 1, I hit my step targets every single day without fail, unless I was sick. For me, there was no two ways around it. If you set a goal, you can't just dream about that goal. You have to actively work on smashing that goal. I would not go sleep until I had hit my step targets for the day. No matter what it took, I did it. Because every time you don't work on your goals, or you ignore them, or you think, I'll do it tomorrow, that's like a silent voice in your head telling you that your goals aren't important. There was a number of times where I got invited out to social events, which I said yes to. But if that social event was on a Friday night, I did everything in my power to hit those step goals before I left the house, whether it was running up and down the stairs in the house, or running around the couch, or going outside to the complex parking lot and walking around. I made sure that I got those steps. It wasn't about, okay, my steps can wait. No, every single day I hit those steps. Now, if you join my coaching community, I will teach you smart ways of setting step targets that are not super rigid and do allow you some gray areas within that black and white. Number 2, I logged my calories every single day without fail. Not only on the days where I hit calorie targets, even on the days where I was over calorie targets. Not only weekdays, every single day of the week, weekends included. When it got difficult or when it felt tedious, I made a point of logging the calories on those days, because you cannot only show up on the days where you feel like doing things. You have to show up on the good days, the bad days, even the days you don't feel like doing something. The days where you overconsume calories, those are the most important days to acknowledge and to hold yourself accountable for, and to learn from those days. Too many people give up so easily in that area. It's like, I don't want to log my calories today and I'll just wing it. You're going to wing yourself into nonsense. Now, I'm not saying logging calories needs to be a life sentence. Absolutely not. But how do you expect to change your plan or tweak your plan if you don't know what you are currently consuming? Like, honestly, I'm tired of hearing, it's too tedious to do that. Anything on this health and fat loss expedition can seem difficult or tedious, but by doing these difficult things, by doing the tedious things, that is where your success lies. Number 3, I did meal prep every Sunday and every Wednesday evening, because it gave me control, it gave me structure, and it freed up time for myself during the week where I could go do some sort of exercise. Regardless of how I felt, regardless of what my other plans were for the weekend or for the Sunday, I slotted in a time slot where I could prep my meals. And I know many of you out there will be like, we have no idea where to start with meal prepping and it's not easy, that's why you don't do it. Well, anything that is new to you is not going to be easy. You're not going to know where to start, but you have to start, because like I said earlier, if you don't start doing something, how are you going to know where the struggles are or where the difficulties lie? And the only way you can change those things is by practicing what you are doing. Same with meal prep. The more you do something that you suck at now, the better you become at doing it. I will tell you now that my meal prepping is something that kept me on track with my nutritional plan. The meals were there. I knew what the calories were in the meals. And like I said, that gave me a lot of control and a lot of structure. It also removed a lot of thinking about what food I'm going to eat next because it was already prepared. And I'm not lying to you now, every Sunday and every Wednesday I did that damn meal prep. My meal prepping was the same as my steps or logging my calories. I did it regardless of how I was feeling that day. Even if I didn't feel like doing it, I'm like, you have to go and do it, Mandy. It's part of the plan. How are you going to achieve your goals if you keep venturing off the plan? Now, I told you in the beginning of this episode, it is going to be tough love because this is what you have to hear. This health and fat loss thing is not easy. Weight loss is not easy. The concept is simple, but the execution is not easy. And a lot of the times you're making it more difficult for yourself by not planning, by just winging it, by not hitting your step targets every day and then feeling guilty about it. Number 4, I stopped drinking alcohol for the first 3 months of my health and fat loss expedition. I'm going to tell you this straightforward now. If fat loss is your goal, an overconsumption of alcohol on a regular basis is going to be detrimental to your progress. Emphasis on an overconsumption. If you're having 1 glass of wine every here and there during the week, it doesn't affect your control and it's not pushing you over your calories for the day or for the week, and that is working for you, that's 100% fine. But as I say this now, every single one of you know what your alcohol consumption is, and you also know if that is the thing that is stopping you from progressing. You need to make that change. After 3 months, I had my first couple of drinks only because it was my 30th birthday. And after that, I gradually incorporated 1 or 2 beers back into my plan. Nothing drastic at all. I had a simple guideline with myself. Every second weekend on a Saturday, if I go out, I'll have 1 or 2 beers and that's that. And I stuck to that guideline. I'm actually going to use the word, I stuck to that rule that I made for myself. Why? Because I wanted to achieve my goals. As simple as that. Was it easy? Absolutely not. No, it wasn't easy. None of these things are easy, but you know that already. All you have to do right now is tweak your expectations. Number 5, I started waking up earlier. I'm not talking like 5 hours or 2 hours earlier, 15 to 30 minutes earlier. And the reason for that was so that I could get those extra steps in that helped me achieve those step goals. And the more I started doing that, the more I started realizing it's setting the tone for the day. And that tone was a tone of success. And that's where I actually wanted to start waking up earlier to do my exercise in the morning because of the amazing feeling that it brought about. Number 6, I started saying no to things that didn't align with my goals. Simple as that. Hey Mandy, do you want to come out for a raucous night of bar dancing and Jaeger bombs? No. Why not? It doesn't align with my goals. And I get it. The peer pressure is hard. I totally understand that. But you have to stand your ground. If you keep falling for peer pressure and you keep saying yes to things that don't align with your goals, if you keep saying yes to things that you really want to say no to, the only person you are saying no to is yourself and your goals. If I got invited out for pizza and beers on a Wednesday night and I didn't want to go, guess what? No was the answer. Now, if I did want to go, then yes, of course, I would have gone. But like I said, I started saying no to things that did not align with my goals because my goals were a priority. I put my goals first. And like I said, sometimes you have to sacrifice things. It isn't all sunshine and roses. And that's where the internet gets it wrong a lot of the times. Oh, just do what you want. No, you don't know. Number 7, I put myself out there to do things that I didn't want to do in the past. Things like eating veggies. I know it sounds simple, but so many people are like, oh, I don't like veggies, that's why I'm not eating them. Okay, but if your goal is health and fat loss, eat your damn vegetables. Whether you like them or not, learn to like them. I never ate vegetables at all. Now I love them. I didn't want to join boot camp, but I knew that it was something that I had to do. What you really need to understand, there's a big difference between wanting to do something and actually doing something. A lot of the things that are going to be required for you to be successful at your health and fat loss, those are things that maybe you don't want to do, but they are things that you have to do in order to be successful. And that takes me back to, you can't only do these things on days where you feel like doing it. It needs to be consistent. I go back to the step targets. There were some evenings that I didn't want to do the last 1,000 steps for the day because I had a horrible day at work. But guess what? I put on my big girl panties and I walked up and down that apartment to get those last 1,000 steps. And the only reason why I'm giving you this tough love is because I want you to know that it was also not easy for me to lose 40 kilograms. And I want to help that you get rid of that idea of it being easy. And that's only why I speak about these difficult things and why I sound so firm about it, because I'm tired of people thinking it's easy. I'm tired of people complaining about not achieving their goals when they haven't even put in the hard work or the effort. And maybe, just maybe, this video is the eye-opener that you need to help you realize that you got to push a little bit harder, or you have to start getting out of your comfort zone, or you have to set up a plan of action so you can hit those step targets or your other daily non-negotiables. Number 8 was a very difficult one for me because I'm highly introverted. I had to find like-minded people on my health and fat loss expedition. And what I mean by that is my social circle, the people that I was surrounded by before I started my health and fat loss expedition, weren't into health and fat loss or living a healthy lifestyle. And I realized that if I want to succeed or I want to be successful within my health and fat loss expedition, I need to be surrounded by like-minded people on a very regular basis, because your environment affects you and your decisions more than what you know. That's also why I've created my coaching community, so that you can have a platform and an area that you are surrounded by like-minded people who clap and cheer for you every single step of the way. People who share the same goals, the same struggles, and people who want to see you succeed. I didn't have any of that on my health and fat loss expedition in the beginning. I had to go and look for it. And like I said, that is one of the big reasons why I've created my coaching community, because I know there is a lack of support for many of you out there. Don't underestimate the power of support and being around like-minded people who are on the same expedition as you. I had to get out of my comfort zone and go and join that boot camp that I was talking about. I had to get out of my comfort zone and go to a park run on my own. I had to join the hiking groups on social media and find out when hikes were taking place and if I could go and join them. It didn't just magically happen. I had to make it happen. My support and like-minded people didn't just fall into my life. I actively went out there, put myself out there, and made it happen. And like I said, as a highly introverted person, that was probably one of the most difficult things that I had to do, but it was the biggest game changer, because I was surrounded by these groups of people on a regular basis that had the same goals as me. Number 9, I made smart calorie swaps more than what you can ever imagine. When I went to a restaurant, instead of having the chips, I ordered the vegetables. Instead of ordering the Sprite or the second beer, I ordered a glass of water or a Sprite Zero. Instead of having the burger and chips, I would have the chicken and salad. I had a very good structure as to when I was going to include fun foods into my plan and when they were not going to be part of the plan. I'm a structured person. I thrive when I have structure. So by me knowing that a certain day would have a chocolate or a donut as part of that day, it just worked for me. And if Tuesday, for example, wasn't a day that had fun foods on the plan and I got offered a donut at work, the answer would be no. As difficult as it was in that moment. Why? Because like I said in one of the other points, you have to start saying no more often. Saying no doesn't mean that you're restricting something fully. Saying no to something that isn't on your plan for that day just means that you are saying no, not right now. And that is super empowering. And the last point, point number 10, is one that's been the theme of this video. Sacrifices, sacrifices, sacrifices. There were multiple sacrifices that I made from the 4th of January 2016 up until this day of me posting in the video. If you are not willing to make sacrifices when it comes to your health and fat loss goals or any goals that you are working on, then you really need to relook your strategy. And sacrifices to everyone can look very different. Sacrifices can mean saying no to certain food on certain days. It can also mean saying no to certain social events because you want to wake up early in the morning to go do that park run or walk. And that's what really gets to me about a lot of people online is they say you can eat whatever you want when you want. There is a line. That line has to be drawn. You cannot be eating takeaways every single day and expect to see fat loss results. You are going to have to say no to that second or third piece of cake if it's something that happens regularly. If Wednesday night is pizza night and Friday night is burger night and you see that over 7 days your average calories are way over, something has to give. I sacrificed that extra 30 minutes of sleep every single morning, got up early, got some extra steps in. I sacrificed raucous nights out because consuming loads of alcohol at that stage didn't align with my goals and I wanted to wake up early in the morning to go do activity. So many people will look at my transformation pictures and watch my social media videos now and think a lot of the times I just wanted to say no. But even when I said no, up until this day, it can still be difficult. I don't always want to make the sacrifices, but I know that I have to if I want to achieve the goals that I'm working on. Totally random example, but I'm sitting here on a Saturday around lunchtime, perfect weather outside, and I'm recording a YouTube video. I could have been out walking along the beach and just said, I'm not going to record the video. But no, instead I got up super early this morning, went for my run, sacrificed most of my morning and the afternoon to edit this video because I have goals when it comes to my business. And I really think people get confused and think that there doesn't have to be any sacrifices, but there has to be. There has to be sacrifices of some sort. Like I said, you'll see these transformation pictures or maybe even my transformation pictures. And maybe you want that level of success as well. Maybe you also want to lose that amount of weight. But I'm going to ask you now, without sounding cocky, are you willing to do what I did in order to be successful? Are you willing to show up for yourself every single day, regardless of if you want to show up or you don't want to show up? Are you willing to do it? Are you willing to put in the hard work, the hard graft? Are you willing to make sacrifices? Are you willing to get up a little bit earlier to get those steps in? Are you willing to run around the couch in the evening so that you can hit step targets? Are you willing to give up alcohol because it's affecting your calories and your control? Are you willing to say no to the chips and order a salad instead? Are you willing to own your own nonsense and hold yourself accountable? Are you willing to get out of your comfort zone? Are you willing to stop playing the victim and start taking responsibility for your actions? Are you willing to put yourself out there even though you have that fear of failure? Are you willing to give up some of your Sunday to meal prep? Are you willing to put the work in to create a plan so that you can do that meal prepping? Like I said, these 10 points that I mentioned are not the only things. They're just the main things that stood out for me when I was thinking about this video. And I want you to understand that I didn't mean this in a bad way at all. I want it to be an eye-opener. I want you to have that penny drop moment. I want you to push a little bit harder so that you can achieve your goals and be successful in your health and fat loss expedition. But don't come to me and tell me you can't be successful because of X, Y, and Z, but then you're not even putting in the work or you're not willing to make the changes that have to be made. Now, if you're not sure about what changes to make or how many calories to eat or how to set your step targets that can help you achieve them every single day or what smart calorie swaps to make at restaurants or on a daily basis for that matter, if you're not sure of any of those things, and that is the reason why you are not moving forward, because you just don't know or you don't have the knowledge or the information, but you are ready to change, you're ready to commit, and you're eager and willing to do the hard work, the doors to my coaching community open on the 3rd of March. YouTube thinks you're going to like this video, so do I. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, but you're watching the videos on a consistent basis, hit that subscribe button just because you can and because I'm recording this video on a Saturday instead of walking on the beach. When you're ready, the links to everything I have to offer will be in the description.